A routine day in Taiwan's airspace becomes anything but routine. Radar screens light up, alarms blare, dozens of Chinese fighter jets cross an invisible line. Inside Taiwan's command center, officers don't ask if this is serious. They ask something far worse. Is this the last warning before war? For decades, Taiwan sat in a dangerous grey zone, claimed by China, protected but not officially recognized by the United States. A delicate balance, but that balance is cracking. China's determination to reunify with Taiwan, once a distant ambition, has now become the most single dangerous flashpoint in global politics. Because unlike other conflicts, this one doesn't stay regional. If Taiwan falls, the shock waves will hit the entire world. Over 2025 and into 2026, Beijing has turned up the pressure, not with an invasion, but with something far more calculated. Massive live firewalls encircling the island, warships and fighter jets crossing Taiwan's air defense zone almost daily, and most worrying of all, full-scale blockade simulations, not practice for war, practice for strangulation. Military analysts widely interpreted these exercises as preparation for coercive scenarios short of invasion, especially a naval quarantine designed to isolate Taiwan economically and politically. No bombs, no missiles, just pressure. Pressure until the island cannot breathe. Washington is watching closely, and it's not staying quiet. In late 2025 alone, the United States approved $11 billion in arms sales to Taiwan, missiles, drones, advanced defense systems. The message was clear: an invasion would not be quick, it would not be cheap, and it would not be clean. At the same time, US aircraft carriers maneuver through the South China Sea not as a provocation but as a signal. Any move against Taiwan will not go unanswered. But signals only work until someone decides to ignore them. Recently, a statement was made that changed the equation. The Prime Minister of Japan declared that an attack on Taiwan would trigger Japan's right to collective self-defense. That was unprecedented because for the first time, a major US ally openly tied its own security to Taiwan's survival. Suddenly, this wasn't about China and Taiwan. It was about alliances, treaties, and credibility. One miscalculation now could pull multiple nuclear-armed powers into the same conflict. And history shows those situations rarely stay under control. On the ground in Taiwan, the tension is personal. Families practice air raid drills, schools rehearse emergency evacuations. In China, generals speak of destiny, history, and unfinished business. While in Washington, senators warn that closing the Taiwan Strait would send shockwaves through the global economy. Because this isn't just a military issue. Taiwan sits at the heart of the world's semiconductor supply. A major conflict here could freeze manufacturing, crash markets, and trigger a global recession. One estimate suggests a Taiwan war could erase $10 trillion from global output. And that's not a theory, that's consequence. Imagine this scenario. A Chinese naval exercise runs longer than planned. A Taiwanese patrol aircraft gets too close. A radar lock is misread. No leader orders war, but events start moving faster than decisions. Animated maps fill with red lines. Digital counters tick upward. Troop movements accelerate, and the world holds its breath because history's most devastating wars often did not begin with intent. They begin with momentum. Taiwan is not just an island. It is a test of deterrence, of alliances, of whether great powers can still step back from the edge. The question is no longer if the tensions will rise. It's whether when the moment comes, will anyone be able to stop the slide?